Welcome to Center of Light Foundation. We are the tribe. We are the nation. Good to see you. It's getting cold. He's Mr. Heat Miser. He's Mr. Snow. He's Mr. Heat. It's cold miser. He's Mr. 100 below. Strap in all ye spiritual astronauts as we launch for inner space. Good to see you. Hello, everyone. Let me do a couple of refreshings. I said heat miser. It's supposed to be cold miser. Tonight is Center of Light. Here and there, space and time. Here, there, space, inner and outer. The causal is the inner, the reflection is the outer. And time would be the world from this point forward. I'm not really a cold weather person. I don't mind the first whatever, weeks, month. After that, it starts getting cold, and I'm ready for it to be over. Hello, Pri. Perdewa. Hapakuku. Beautiful girl down under. How you doing, dear? Happy holidays to you and yours, whatever you call it in your country. It's getting cold. I'm triple socked, not double socked, triple socked. The cold is socking it to me. For those on Facebook, it's Facebook's way of keeping you private and keeping you secure by not giving your name. So for the first time, give me your first name. Hey Keith, it's so-and-so, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Second time, maybe give me your first initial and your second name, first initial as well. That way I know who is dialoguing, so I have to go through these many different screens. Welcome to Center of Light Foundation. I don't want to stop loving you. Happy holidays across the nation. On this spiritual station of love and light, moonlight, tonight we're going to be looking at deeper upon deeper upon deeper levels of time, space, the world, this place. It seems like a sacrifice, but it is grace. Life, L-I-F-E, an acronym. Let it flow eternally. We can play in this arena all we want. It's grace, I tell you. But if you want to move towards the higher inner spiritual planes, it's that inner space. Inner is infinity, God. Outer is time and world. Time can, in this way, can be seen ironically as the overseer of infinity. Again, I ask for those who are just arriving, thank you, on Facebook, please give me your first name when you post, and then after you can give me an initial, that way I know who you are. So I don't have to switch many screens. It's Facebook's way of keeping you private. So I know who you are, because I want to respond to you. The whole reason I do what I do is because of me and of you. Together, we. Time is the overseer of infinity. Well, Keith, if time is not a real construct, it is to some degree. It's real on the level that we operate from. So it creates a contrast because we need a fixed focus point. I'm looking at this, so now that I can understand what eternity, infinity actually is. Other than that, it gets a little lost. So this fixed focal point of time, it's a measurement. It's a marker that says, let me really express and explain to you how big eternity actually is. So we have time, the overseer of infinity, which tick, 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 ticks by in the Akashic Hall of Records. Every one of those ticks are logged into the Book of Records. forever. So time in this way is very malleable, very workable, very pliable, very wonky, very needed. But tonight's presentation is using time to melt down the walls, boundaries or not, what you want. I understand it is what you think you want as a way of protecting yourself. I get it. Totally get it. Totally get it. But how can we ever expect to expand into inner space in all that it has to offer if we're constantly erecting walls to keep others out? Unity consciousness is not about keeping others out. It's about deliberately and literally bringing others in as we go in ourselves. So those erroneous walls, those walls that people erect are because of a protection mechanism. Well, when you move through the mechanism and the protection that we think we need because of it, when push comes to shove it up the wazoo, we do the work surrounding that. Expected, requisite work in that. There's no need to put up walls, is there? Further and nicely into expansive mode we go. From homecoming, excuse me, crossing the bridge to the soul, Spirit and I's dialogue all those years ago. Spirit starts off, Keith, let me put it this way. When humanity finally does get around to taking in what I've been saying for eons, world peace will be yours. Not only world peace, in this way, in this regard, it's your peace. When you find your peace in your world, the world will be peaceful. Even in its strife. Because you will be able to see, using a very spiritual knife to cut through the nonsense. Cutting the fat of that spiritual steak, if you will. And I asked the question, so what should we call this time we're living in? The end, the beginning, the new age, the golden age, revelation, Armageddon, the rapture, what? It matters not to me what you call it. What does matter is for you to believe with all that you have. Believe inside. So far, so much so that you fall into knowing that inner space. As opposed to time waiting for an outside reflection of grace, which is probably going to be temporary, versus anchoring it forevermore, using an anchor that moors your intention of returning to the garden, even beyond soul. Soul is the knuckle on the hand. It brings in the human experience and the divine experience, which is a phenomenal, Christed place to be. But for those who want to truly fall into the fire, it's a little differently, a little more deeper. Spirit says it matters not to me what you call it. What does matter is for you to believe with all that you have. Why not jump into the hunt with all that you have? That God is blanketing you and the earth with love's vision so that humanity can see what has been created, how it is working, and what needs to be recycled for further expansion into grace. You must know that the closer I get to you, the more the law of cause and effect will be in play. Said another way, as my light pierces the illusion of time and space, tonight is here and there, space and time, everything about you will be unmasked to reveal your shadow self, your own illusion. And I asked the question, are you saying that cause and effect will not be separate and that our thoughts will suddenly begin to manifest? Definitely right, kiddo. As the world keeps moving down its timeline, reality, space, inner space, will indeed begin to manifest immediately from your thoughts. Because God power is winding its way through every soul on the planet, making now the perfect time to manifest your own life's desires. But before we can truly work and play together, I must first mirror to you infinity, time is the overseer of infinity, that contrasts, I must first mirror to each of you with all my love exactly who you are as a thinking, feeling, doing, being. And I asked the question, so that's how the universe functions? Yes, Keith, absolutely. The whole system of creation works in harmony, constantly learning and updating, ever expanding. And I am ready to reveal to all of you the progress we have made. There is an enormous potential for unpleasant things to manifest in your life. Hello, 2023, since 2020. But they need not necessarily come into being. You said it most correctly, Keith, a little bit earlier. As love energy continues to lift, all things will quicken into manifestation. So if you truly wish to avert any adversity, we have to get out of time and into space, inner space, consciously. You must clear yourself of any hate, guilt, and fear you are holding on to. If these obstacles are not addressed, trouble will continue to show up for you on a regular basis. It has been said that when the bad moon rises on people, God is testing them. This is completely nonsensical because such an assumption makes me out to be the tempting devil that I am most definitely not. It is ludicrous for people to think that I would tempt or tease them or play with them in any part, but in the bad choices and the consequences that follow from the decisions they made for themselves. When it comes down to owning of a situation they may find themselves in, they want no part of it. So they play the devil made me do it card in a futile attempt to transfer their own responsibility onto a figment that does not exist. These divine diabolical experiences test time, eternity, are to provide some self-to-self reflection. Spirit has no hand in such trivial matters. The fact that lessons come back around again and again only points out to people that they have not yet resolved specific negative energies. But if you choose to, Keith, this applies to all of us, you can own, integrate, and transcend your own stuff and reunite with your soul. Indeed, this reunion must take place before you can ever know God in its totality. But you see, beloveds, whatever you decide really does not matter to me. Because in the end, which like the devil does not exist, all creation will consciously return to me. So why not go ahead and live your life with style, fun, and integrity? For these are some of love's vital components. And may I ask a couple of questions? And out of humor, Spirit says, that is one. Yes, of course, Keith asked. What constitutes love, and can anything exceed the parameters of love? What constitutes love, and can anything exceed its parameters? Spirit. The answers are very simple. First, if you do not use your free will to impinge upon someone else's, you are exercising God's love. Second, my love knows no perimeters. It transcends all boundaries of time and space. Tonight is center of light here and there, space and time. And judgment. It transcends all these boundaries. It adheres to no rules pertaining to this or that. Spirit does not judge something to be other than anything than myself. And then I start off by saying, but what I was taught, and Spirit interrupts, never mind what you were taught, Keith. I know these are not the principles of God that you've been used to. Nonetheless, these are the constructs of my love. As I observe the human condition, I look upon everyone with compassion. I especially support the efforts of all who are trying to right themselves because they want to, not because of some threat of a possible hellfire and brimstone manipulation by God. That is the preciousness of your free will. You either use it or you do not. There are no strings attached to my earth experiment, for you are not marionettes. Their irony is that all of you have paid a huge price by using your free will unconsciously. You yourself, Keith, have paid a huge price because of the poor choices you have made. You still sometimes choose to let your ego dictate your life. That is what has kept you snared in a neurotic trap set by no one other than yourself. And then back then I say, maybe I'm not exactly clear about what the ego is. And Spirit responds, most people are not. So I shall explain first by giving the definition of ego and then follow up with further insight. The definition of ego: the self, the individual as aware of himself. This is me. We think this is me because we are so bodily identified. The part of the psyche which controls the impulses of the identity. The ego, or the fear-based thoughts we have about ourselves and the world. Here you go. Your ego is made up of all the fear-based thoughts you have about yourself and the world around you. An ego-driven person tends to gloat and to boast to others, trying to create a false impression that he or she is actually happier than he or she really is. And Spirit asked me a question: Keith, do you think I fit into this category? And humorously I said, God, no. Not at all. I got a large chunk of this. I'm gonna move through some of this. I do my work thoroughly every day. I dive into this experience of wanting to love myself more, like this song, deeper, more connected. I'll get back to some of this shortly. Welcome everyone to Center of Light. Tonight is Center of Light Foundation, here and there, space and time. Are you more often finding yourself here versus there, moving down the timeline of where we think we want to be to experience the ambrosia, the nectar, the honey, the sustenance? I get it. I'm with you. Here is a vertical action. Well, because we hear. But here is more. Let me go into the there first. There implies I'm here, but I want to go there down the linear timeline. Time. I'm here, but unconsciously, or even simply matter-of-factually, I'm here, I'm going there. We move towards the future expression of life, which is ourself. Time. But when it comes to here, not only is it this for the center nucleus focal point, it also includes the future point. Living in the there, down where we are towards there, time, future. When we hear, not only do we get that, we get all of this. So actually, we truly are not going down the future this way. Where we are, this way. We're going down the future diagonally. We're going towards the future, but into the higher planes, the higher stratosphere. So where is here? Where is there? It's all here, right now. You're not going anywhere. It seems so beautifully, but you're not going anywhere. The scenery's changing. The scenery of your life is rearranging. Hello, 2023. It's at your door. What do you really want for Christmas? Holidays, whatever is your way of celebrating anything that is beautiful in such a season or an occasion, the reason to be with people you love. We use Christmas and Thanksgiving and all these excuses, really they are beautiful ones. It puts us in space, a beautiful space. You may call it a plate of food, turkey, cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes. That's all part of the dance. Perchance, we use this season, holiday, to move into a deeper space, in this time, in this place. Don't get displaced by the commercialism. I'm sure you don't. You're smarter than that. I have faith in you, as you do in I. Here. What is it like to truly be here? Are you using any techniques, even sticky notes, everywhere you go throughout your day, that simply says, be present? That's the true gift of Christmas. Be present. It reminded you, be present. Now you go from there to here. And the trick that we all must master is breath is an excellent way to do it. Sticky notes work well as well. They help you to remember, remind you to fall into the space to breathe. In the gate of the true space, infinity, eternity opens up, it widens. There are no rules. You want to move back into the infinite spirit, you have to get out of rules. God is not bound by rules, walls, boundaries, space. What is it like to be you? I don't know if there could be any more profound, pertinent, important question I can ask you. It's rhetorical, or you can answer if you like. In fact, don't answer the question at all. I say this often, don't answer the question. Don't expect an answer. But it's most important and profound that you ask the question. What is it like to be me? And you do one of these gestures. Things begin to move. The times you've had in your life, the times you think you're going to have in your life, you let them slip by you as well. Don't answer the question with this time stuff. Don't let it penetrate or influence or pervert or taint your space. What is it like to be me? And the feelings come and the ideas come. Let them come. Some of them you will feel more identified with than others. But the truth is, they're all part of the identity that you think. So just let them move and you'll have this dynamic happen. Ooh, that is definitely me. Or, that's not me. But actually the that's not me is more the ooh, that is me, than the you that you thought yourself to be. And when you get done with playing with this yo-yo, step back, and then you will see that the real you that you are has always been here. Always. No matter where you go, you are still you. I understand the dance, the game, it truly is a game, as we want to advance out of present situations. That is part of the intention that brings us into a greater, deeper spiritual space. But don't get lost in that game. Don't get lost in the nonsense of always wanting not only to move forward, but push forward so hard that you're taking all of your time to do so. It's simply a space. Intend to move forward, and you sit, and you wait. You're not waiting for something to arrive for you to maneuver again. Oh, I need to get up and move again. That is part of the illusion. So it's this very delicate dance between move, rest, pause, enjoy, be, expand in this space. This space. What space this one? And in such a silent space is everything. There is nothing else. It is everything so profound. We call it God. We call it Santa Claus. We call it Jesus. We call it Buddha. We call it Krishna. We call it whatever we want. It's that space that every sentient being, every being throughout the entire universe is advancing towards, conscious or not. Everyone is advancing, even though it seems like there's a backstepping. There's no such thing as a lack of progress process. Everything is always moving forward. but we can thrust ourselves forward through becoming consciously aware of the ongoing inner space that we are, more so than that which we are trying to achieve. That is truly the Christ Mass Christmas present. Be right back, Center of Light Foundation. Here and there, I'm here. I'm totally here with you. I'm here. Conscious awareness. I am consciously aware of that fact, that I am present within myself, and you help me to do that. That's why I love doing presentations and having my time with you. My space with you, my grace with you. See you shortly. Happy holidays.
Making one of 100 million pieces, making one of each and every heart, giving one love like you really mean it, seeing one in each other every day. Loving one is how to get to heaven. Sharing one, the love that you are. Hearing one, that little voice inside. Being one with all the people. Teaching one all the children about love. Lives to make a difference, caring for one who really needs a friend, opening one to truth that they see, lifting one to dwell in the kingdom, dwell in the kingdom. Sending one only thoughts of happiness, receiving one love that's your gift. Think as one ends the separation. Being one saves the world. Teaching one all the children about love.
Welcome back to Center of Light Foundation. We are the tribe. We are the nation. Are you living your life in celebration? Initiation, integration, and graduation into the Spirit. Do you hear it? The call that is, the big and the small of all that it is. We can do that when we hear and not there. Here and there. Space and time. Space. We don't really identify being in space when there's drama or negativity happening in our life because we're so caught up in it. It's easier to claim true space when something beautiful happens, like the grace of the birth of a child very near to you, or something wonderful that happens, that beautiful ambiance, that graceful ambiance. That's space. Well, it's all space. It depends on which dimension you are dwelling in. And it's hard to identify with such spaces that seem like it's all designed around the drag of time. It's hard to find yourself in time and space. You're just a globule of light, like a snowflake, falling, drifting into infinity. You can liken yourself to a snowflake, but a globule of light just existing forever and ever and ever. I'm in. I'm in. We exist in space, but when we get hooked by the cheek, we get lost in time. Again, from Homecoming, briefly. Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, my new bestseller. Spirit says, Keith, I am happy just the way I am. I accept all that I have brought forth and I see nothing I would change. Does that answer your question when I asked, how do you do it? How are you, Spirit, always in that magnificent, everlasting, infinite space? I am happy just the way I am. I accept all that I have brought forth, which we should do as well, and I see nothing I would change. Does that answer your question? I say, yes, it does. So what you're saying is that when we choose to become enlightened, heaven, the vertical action, which includes all of this, comes down to us. Spirit responds, yes, and it's just a matter of time. For time is the space between those who take the spiritual path now and those who put it off. If you extract time and space from the equation, what are you left with? And I say, just one big enlightenment. And Spirit responds, bang, you've got it. Welcome to eternity. Take your shoes off and make yourselves at home. I did a presentation sometime recently about time and space. I woke up this morning, actually last night before I went to bed, and I send myself reminders. Hey, Google, blah, 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 blah. And he responded. So-and-so presentation.
Here's what I found on the web.
And now she's still talking. And so I woke up this morning and I felt confirmed by my prompting or asking to do this presentation on this subject or this title by the way it made me feel. I was in a space. And I sat in that space for a while. I didn't feel any contrast, like later, a couple hours later, like maybe think of another. I didn't feel any of that. So I went with it. Now we are, you and I, together in this beautiful space of the holiday season. So I did this presentation recently, and it felt on point in this time to create a beautiful space. I will see shortly. Welcome to Center of Light Foundation. Here, now, here, there, space-time. The door that is being shown to us is that we're being pushed out of time is the distance between our thinking and it happening is getting very, very small. So if you're living centered, love and light, as they say in the spiritual cliche movement, slang, if you're centered and you're planted and you understand this is happening and I'm not involved with this drama, the drama of earth, you understand that your thoughts are your experience, which creates your feeling, which creates the action, which creates how everybody else around you is affected. And because you're clean, now you're pure fire. We always talk about fire. Because now you're getting your fire element within yourself into congruency with nature. One of the 5 elements. You're aligning with fire consciously. So you're no longer burning your bridges. No longer burning yourself out. All these different ways of playing with the conundrum, the metaphor of fire and spirituality and how things are all involved. So you become congruent. So you're not in the spin of bad things. The door that is open is there's no more time. So what you think pro or con is not going to happen later on down the line to where you never realize in the first place that you are the creator of your life and your experience. That is being removed from you as I speak. It's literally being pulled out of you. No more time. So the buffer of time used to stop the manifestations of the things that terrify us from the thought of being terrified with these thoughts in the first place. So now reality is going to, every time you have fear-based thoughts, you hang out with certain groups of people, God bless their heart, and I mean that sincerely. When you're around people, you become a tone. You become birds of a feather. And if you're hanging around with groups of people, you can still love them from a distance. The window is being opened. And everyone's tomfoolery, on all levels, for every possible reason, is going to be shown to everyone. I didn't know that. You didn't know that. That's okay. But this is part of your cycle, maybe as to why you didn't know it. But for those who are choosing to get aboard the unifying humanity train, all for the all, are the ones that are hear the call. It's not hard. It's not like this sky's going to crack open and these angels and these... I'm not saying that's not possible. I love possibility. I live my life in possibility. I'll take that too. However it's going to look, it's going to be to the effect of the clouds parting and the angels trumpeting and all that cool stuff. Or the sky's going to get real ominous for you and dark. It's not a Armageddon. It's truly a revelation for those who are able to see what's being revealed. It does not take a savior to do that. You have to save yourself. You have to want to see. You have to want to be saved by your Savior before anything can ever happen. If Jesus is your Savior, He's not the one who saves you. You save your own self by saying, Jesus, come save me. You made the choice to have influence. To say, align me with that which we call being saved. Give me grace. You can call it saved. You can say Jesus. You can say grace. You can say the most beautiful thing in the universe. That which I feel when I'm with my brand new baby daughter. Why wouldn't that work? What's the difference? My heart resonates the same. Bing! And it says, that's purposeful. That's magic. That's meaningful. So now we have a barometer without excuse that says, this is horseshit and needs to quit. So that's not also pointing blame that they need to quit. That's saying the experience of what we collectively have been living in, don't we have enough? So everyone gets together now and says, okay, we're this magical to create this kind of illusory experience for ourselves. It's time to level up. Let's level up. The cave of Samadhi applies to everybody, but it's from a Hindi tradition. They go into a cave in the Himalayan mountains, they light a fire, and they hunker down. And they're not going anywhere. Who are the they? Monks, men, women, those of us who really want to be in the divine fire, the place of all purification, where nothing higher can ever happen. Nothing is beyond that exaltation. There is nothing. So we want to get there. So what we do is we take off our shoes and we walk on sacred ground and we throw off the cloak, the choke of our religion. It doesn't mean your faith walk. It means that which we do religiously that binds us to this earth. So in the cave of Samadhi tonight is beyond time and space. Earth is involved, but we have to evolve to the place beyond the earth so we can become the very embodiments of heaven on earth. What is that worth to you? In all mirth, it's not so funny after all. It's quite literal and very serious. The cave of Samadhi. Because for eternity, you may have experiences with loved ones. I get it. That's fleeting. You may pass away and rejoin with those loved ones. And to some degree, that actually, as well, is fleeting. Because beyond the earth plane and what we would actually think or call is the heavenly plane, is something even more sane than that. And it's beyond the sameness of all that, which is the unusual, the unbridled spirit, where there are no rules whatsoever. Shoots morality right out the window, doesn't it? What about my ethics out the other window? So now what? That's the question. The question is now what? The question is always, now what? No matter how illumined you may think you are, including myself, the question on the tip of the tongue should always be, now what? It should be a tickler on the brain. Now what? Simply now what? You don't have to, in fact, choose not to expect in the questioning of yourself of now what you think it may look like when it arrives, because it will arrive the way you think like. And you will get the sameness. The now what should be virgin. Wow! Your now what should be a pure virgin now what? Boy, that just moved right through me. Your now what should be a virgin. Never penetrated by the male spirit, the male dominance, the hardness, the testosterone, the strength of the male in this regard. It's not about the male being hard. It's about the softness of the divine bosom of your cosmic mother, sister or brother. That is beyond time and space. It's that which gives birth to everything in time and space. But here's the deal. It's not that hard. Who do you think you are? Where do you think you are? What do you think you are? Do you think you are a something at all? Do you exist? Do you feel that you exist forever? And forever, you will have that experience until you change your model. Model that. There's nothing else. It's daunting. It's haunting. It's wanting you to follow it into this very mysterious place. And it sounds dark. Cool. Because it's only through the dark will you ever illuminate God. Because in the areas of your life that you are illuminated, you already see the truth. So it's calling. And it's wanting. And it's saying, follow me. You won't like it. It's not you may not like it. You won't like it at all. But you heard the call as to why you have no choice, Luke, to walk into the wilderness to face your Darth Vader. It may happen that your head will be severed. Actually, you should almost want to kind of lean into the idea. Because some part of you to be reborn in the Christ fire has to die, has to burn in the fires of worship, divine love. It is a divine fire because forever it changes, forever it consumes, but yet forever it brings forth spirit, that which is lifted, that which turns back into spirit. It turns within itself over and over and over. It's there for those to see and for those who choose to hear it.
Shamalama ding dong, shamalama ding dong. Pete the Creep gonna sing you a Christmas song. Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. The Batmobile lost his wheel and Robin lost his eggs. Sha-sha, woo-woo. You remember to drink lots of that egg-a-nog and send me some of those cookies, though. Pete the Creep's coming to your house. I woke up this morning, bruh. Let me tell you, there was some pre-Christmas toys under my tree. Pete the Creep got it in tight with the ho-ho man. Merry Christmas. Sha-sha. Woo-woo.
Happy holidays. Good to see you tonight, Center of Light Foundation. We are the tribe, we are the nation. Here and there, space and time. What is your space that you find yourself most often in the spin of all this wildness? As said in that presentation a minute ago, returning back to the spirit and its unbroken, unbridled, natural wild state. I see many people in my presentations. I know just about everyone, so to speak. They come in, they stay for a little while. This is my assumption, granted. And certain things that are said, granted, they exit immediately. I get it. We're all on this ride together. Certain things that are said to me, I exit because I don't know what to do with such things. But it requires us to be in such a space to be able to digest, process, assimilate, and express certain things as pure as they really are, when the intention to take them in was truly what was meant all along. As human beings, we love time. Hence, we've incarnated here over and over and over. Red Rover, send Keith over, or Jack or John or Jill, Jane, right over. And we find ourselves in this time, in this place. Here, there. It's okay to be there while you're here, or wanting to be there while you're here. But everything will repeat itself. It'll be Groundhog Day. Being here really means today, every day, every moment is Christmas. It's the entrance to the gate of the Christ. Merry Christmas. Merry whatever that floats your boat. May no one ever try to topple, turn over, turn asunder your boat, that which you use to stay afloat. In a beautiful space that takes us back to where we are originally, out of time. This is the time for it. Very soon, during the Christmas season, I'm going to do a presentation on the return of the Christs, plural, the return of the Christs. as well as the return as the teacher of Yeshua ben Joseph, Jesus the Christ itself, that I've been playing for the last 8-9 years. Sort of a tradition. Make sure you join. I'm doing everything I can to turn this into a movie versus just a static image with this beautiful story of something that happened to me many years ago when I was launched by the Christ principle out of time and into a future space where I saw the grace of Spirit fall upon every face, those who chose to hear it. Where humanity finally stood up, and I'm telling you, so it seems that it's coming down to the meat and potatoes that it's going to require all of us to stand up. And I don't mean just fight the good fight, be it in voting, be it in however we all choose to change the dynamic of the world. But it's coming to, we're going to have to stand up. Literally say, no more. Literally standing up against repression, oppression, suppression, transgression. The world is standing up. China, the nation of China, the beautiful aspect as an expression of our humanity, is standing up. The world is changing. We're falling into an inner space. COVID, the Ronage, for you as well as it did for me. I fell into a space of grace. I took it personally. I'm being attacked. In fact. So instead of fighting against such things, I fell into a process of refinement. And it's paying off, at least for me it is. I wish that upon you. I hope so that you instigate, integrate, and graduate from there, where you wanted to be, to here, where you truly are. Here is infinity, God. There is world, time. Take the time that you're living in this beautiful world. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Always know that at least I love you beyond measure. Happy holidays.